Yeah, Coach, Sutton's missed some time. Coach had mentioned that he had a lower body injury, I guess, but good to see him out there, at least in green.
Yeah, he's going to be all right. He's a hard worker. He approaches every day like a pro. So he's doing the things he needs to do. I'm not worried about that. I think he's doing a good job with the rest of the guys, and he understands the offense. I think that's one of the biggest things. He has a curve on everything that's going on.
Seems like we've seen a lot of Markeelan Batten maybe moving his way up the ranks. What have you seen from him so far?
I think he's been doing a really good job accepting his role, taking advantage of every opportunity he gets. He's really explosive with the ball in his hand. And he's been showing a lot of toughness, even the pass protection. That was one of the things I probably was worried about a little early on, but he's been doing a good job with that. But Marquise, he's really explosive, definitely with the ball in his hand.
It looks like Braylon has maintained, the weight that he had lost in spring. What are your thoughts about him and his progress heading into the season?
He's a need. He's a big back for this league, downhill runner. Does a really good job of catching the ball, surprisingly, early on. So that's what I've been impressed with him about. He's another pro. He understands what's going on. Once we started talking about the weight and different things like that, he took the weight off and he kept it off. It's not a fight or anything like that. So he's been doing a really good job being a leader in that room. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to do once we get to game situations. But he's been doing everything we asked him to do, and he's definitely a big back that we're going to need.
The backs weren't involved in any of this, but there were some ball security issues in the team period we saw to start practice. I guess it was period 2. Bad snap, there was a pick at the end. How have you guys done with ball security otherwise?
But you have to preach that every day, and I think that's an ongoing process, and it's a big thing, especially in our room. We have to own the ball. And that's the number one thing. You don't want any turnovers, different things like that. So constantly we preach it from every different position on the field. That's defense, offense. That has to be a constant with us. We have to maintain looking at different things and knowing we can't turn the ball over. We don't want to lose the game. So we preach that all the time. I tell my guys all the time, we have to own the ball.
Jasper Parker, what have you seen from him in fall camp so far?
Doing really good. He's another big back, running downhill, catching the ball. He's really smart, understands protection. He's played some football at different places. So I'm really proud to see what he's going to do. And sometimes I forget how young he is. This is his second year in college. So, I have to be patient. I understand this is a process for him, but he's a tough player. He'll stick his face in there when it's time for protection. He gets the tough yards for us, similar to Braylon. Does a really good job for us.
Yeah, you've said it several times about Sutton just being a professional. I know with dealing with injury that helps somebody that has been there, a veteran, understands the game. But what stands out about just, I guess, the way that he's been able to keep himself maybe mentally engaged despite having some limited time?
I think the biggest thing, he understands the process. He helps those guys, even when he's not in taking the physical reps like everybody else. He's taking mental reps. He understands the big thing about, he knows what to do, how to do, and why he's doing it. And he gets those other guys involved, and he's on those guys all the time about certain things. He takes great notes. Special teams, whatever he needs to do. He's trying to make himself better every day. Whatever he needs to do, special teams, return, kickoff team, we have to protect him from himself. And I think that's one of the biggest things. My job is to get him to the game, get him fresh on Saturday so we can roll.
What excites you the most about a Braylon Russell, Sutton Smith combination, maybe as the top 2 backs this year?
I think they're different backs. Obviously Sutton's a guy who could probably take it 60 or 70 yards, but Braylon's the back who's going to push the pile, get first downs, move the chains for you, and you need that. You need somebody to understand that, hey, we can't block everybody. You're going to have to run over somebody. And this is a tough league, and I tell those guys all the time, you have to run tough when it's tough to run. And they understand that, but Sutton is electric. Obviously when he gets in space, different things like that. And surprise, he's really good in protection. He knows exactly what's going on. He's not scared to stick his face in there.
Talk to Coach Ramsey about this a little bit, but Sutton's workload, at Memphis, it was a lot of 10 touches a game, stuff like that. You think that can go up a level, or is that the right place for a guy like that can be explosive, maybe a little bit smaller compared to the other running backs? What do you envision for Sutton's workload this year?
I think the biggest thing is, once you get into a game situation, whoever's hot, you want to continue to feed him. I don't want to put a ceiling on what he can do depending on what game. Whatever he's doing, if he's healthy enough to do it and put the ball in his hand 12 to 15 times a game, that's what we have to do, especially if he's being productive in it. And we're not hurting him and different things like that, and he can handle the load. That's what you want to do. You want to feed the guys, him and bread. You want to feed those guys, if they're doing a good job, continue to feed them.
Is there a number of like 4 running backs in a game? Are you willing to go to 5? Is it only 3? I mean, I know feed the hot hand if a guy's got it, but is there maybe a number you have in mind of what this rotation might look like when you get into SEC play?
I think the biggest thing is being with I'm with a different staff now. So whatever Coach Cram's want, I think probably 3 running backs would be something that we can kind of handle. In the past, I played 5 running backs before in the series, you know. But my thing is, just like today, we had the young kid, Kevin Young. He had to come and he had to be ready. My job is to prepare him. And I tell him all the time, don't let your opportunity embarrass you. But I think for the most part, if we can play 2 to 3 running backs, I think it'll be really big for us. And all the guys just have to be ready for the opportunities.
When we talked to you in the spring, I think you said that whenever you got here with some of the guys that were returning, like Braylon, you drove to their houses and talked to their families. Just what do you remember about those early conversations with Braylon and what he was wanting from you in that relationship to look like?
I think the biggest thing is you hear so much when you first come in as a coach about what other people thought about them. But my biggest thing is I want to judge you on our relationship. I don't know what happened in the past. I have nothing to do with the past. My job is to judge this young man on exactly where we're going to start from. And I have to let him know my expectations of him, what I want him to do, how I want him to do it. And he accepted that. He understood that. And I think the very first thing was to go to his home because he decided, hey, I'm staying. I want to be a Razorback. Same thing with Settles, I'm staying. So it's my job before I went out to try to get in the transfer pool or anything like that to talk to those kids who are willing to stay and be Razorbacks. And that's the biggest thing for us. Whoever wants to be here, we want those kids here. And I think they answered the bell and did a great job, and their families.
Yeah, I know you said for you don't care about what's been in the past. Has that been a hurdle with any of them? Just kind of putting a mental shift of what they've been through in the past few years.
Yeah, it's a part of it, and I've been through this before, at different places. So you have to kind of keep speaking positive energy into them and let them know, okay, this is what we're going to do. Not what could happen wrong. These are the things we need to do to be successful. And you have to keep talking about the things, what you need to do to be successful. And that's what we do in our room. Our ultimate thing is kind of owning the ball, doing those things, knowing what to do, how to do, and why you're doing it. I think that's always the biggest thing. And the process is the process. The results are going to take care of themselves.
Coach, you mentioned Braylon and Sutton being 2 different backs, more of a power back, more of an explosive guy. Where does Cam Settles fall in that scale?
He's probably a mixture of both. He is really smart. And again, you forget it's only Cam's second year, but he's really smart. He's tough. He can make people miss. He doesn't seem like but he can make people miss in the open field. He catches the ball well. He can run routes. I'm really proud about how smart Cam is, how he approached the game. And he's kind of a low burn guy, not a rah-rah guy, anything like that, but he's a football player. I think his high school did a really good job with him, preparing him for this, and he was mostly a defensive player in high school. So he has a different mindset on how he wants to approach things, but I think Cam is a mixture of both.
And with TJ Hodges being a freshman, obviously got to go through the spring, and now he's going through fall camp. Do you notice a difference? Does it seem like things are slowing down for him?
Oh, they're definitely slowing down for him. I think he's putting on more muscle, probably putting on like 15 pounds. He's doing a good job understanding exactly where he fits, and the game is slowing down for him. And I'm telling him right now, you're a freshman. Understand the process, understand exactly where you fit. Don't get frustrated. Don't get caught up into everything else. And I tell a lot of young guys, especially freshmen, you can rush for 30,000 yards this year. Where are you going to be at next year? Back in college. You can do it 2 years in a row. Where are you going to be at your 3rd year? Back in college. What you're in a rush to get hit for? So at the end of the day, being at this position, you have to be smart. You have to hit it when you're supposed to hit it at a certain time. And I think TJ's doing a good job. And those guys in that room are really pushing him. And he understands that mentally. We had him in there today on some short yardage, getting his pad level down and different things like that. And my job is to help him get prepared.
Yeah, Coach. Coach Ramsey's offense is predicated on quick passes, swing screens, passes to running backs. Curious what you've seen out of your guys in the passing game so far.
I think the biggest thing is they've been able to catch the ball and, like we always say, fast break, catch the ball, CTR, catch, tuck, and run. And they've been able to do that, make people miss. And I think that's going to be really important for the quarterbacks. We have to be some type of outlet for those guys and be ready to roll when it's our time to catch the ball and kind of move the chains. I think those things are really important.
How did your running backs grade out in the Sunday scrimmage, and what do you want to see out of them in the next scrimmage?
I think the biggest thing is we had one inmate on a protection. That's one of the biggest things I tell those guys all the time. We have to keep the quarterbacks upright. That's the number one thing. And going into this next scrimmage is the same thing, but now we need more explosive plays from us. I think those things are big. We're going to be able to block 9 people, we're going to be able to read one, but we have to make somebody miss or run over somebody. It's our job to do that. We have to make at least one person miss, and we have to do the things we need to do to be successful.
They held on to the ball pretty good in that.
They better, because this be RBC, right by coach.
The team unity, we've heard coaches come through and talk about how close their units are and how Coach Silver is preaching that. How would you say that manifests itself in the close team, good results?
I think those things are important. You have to be able to trust the guy next to you, the guy behind you, or a guy in front of you. And I think those kids are doing a good job of understanding we have to be a team, even when everything doesn't go right. And that's when I want to see them do the things they need to do. When things kind of start going a little left, if we can actually come together. I think the guys been doing a good job. When camp started getting really rough, day 4 and 5, those guys started spending the night here. They started sleeping here. So, they understood the importance of it, trying to be around each other. And I think we have to continue to grow in that process.
You mentioned Braylon wanting to stay and not enter the portal even with a new staff and be a hog. I mean, any unique senses of just the motivation for him this year? It's junior season for a running back is often a big breakout time. I mean, what can you sense from him from an internal motivation standpoint right now?
You could tell it's a sense of urgency for him. He's been waiting for this. Just didn't know how to go about it, and now he's in a good light. And I keep telling him, I'm pushing him. I try to push him sometimes just to see what he's going to do, how he's going to respond. And I think he's been doing a good job of responding the right way because I coach him extremely hard. And I think he's excited about the season. He wants to see, what he's going to do, how he's going to be, productive, how he's going to lead this group. And I think he's going to do a good job with it.
I guess it was a decade ago now. You were on Silverfield or with Silverfield at Memphis and that staff. And I know he wasn't a head coach back then, but how have you seen maybe Ryan change from then till now? Anything stand out and maybe differences for him?
I think the biggest thing is when you see a person go from a position coach to a head coach, he does a really good job of keeping the same demeanor, understanding that he's going to be who he is with these guys, and understand keeping the main thing. That's what I like about him. There's no fluff, anything like that. He tell the guys exactly what's on his mind, and he also help them how he's going to help those guys get better, how he's going to help us as a coaching staff get better. And there's no gray area with him. These are the things we need to do to be successful, and that's it.
Coach, appreciate you.
Thanks, Coach.